misdemeanor assault, disturbing the peace, destruction of private property, and most startling of all aggravated misconduct at a public gathering. Just last year, a new charge was developed to deal with violent situations at well-known social events. The first famous person to ever get a hit was Remy Ma. Along with it, let's also discuss the devastation. The proprietor of the venue stated on tape that in less than 3 minutes, more than $12,000 worth of damage was done. Lighting fixtures were overturned, and table centerpieces were broken. A Moroccan-imported luxury rug that was smeared with fake eyelashes and champagne blood. The worst of it isn't even that. Stitches were needed for one security guy. Formal complaints were lodged by 2 waitstaff members. According to rumors, one of Chloe's own boxing sponsors is currently threatening to withdraw because of the needless closeness to scandal. However, it was the public's response that truly made a big difference. The hashtag Remy locked up went viral. In less than an hour, fans were divided on Twitter, which became a courthouse. Claressa was referred to as a clout chaser by the ardent Remy supporters, who claimed that Remy was only upholding her legacy. However, Claressa's army retorts that a true champion does not have to fling heels and fists. The celebrity responses followed. A mysterious tweet was issued by Fat Joe. Each of us had a breaking point. Don't pass judgment until you've been forced to do so. Cardi B. Yo, I don't condone violence, but I also don't condone a woman smiling in another woman's face while having sex with her husband. She said live. That's crazy. After 2 hours, she removed it. One tweet that Nicki Minaj liked said, Remy at last revealed who she really was. That was sufficient to start a conflict in her remarks. This isn't boxing. Even legendary boxer Laila Ali added, it's sad and betraying. Claressa stayed completely silent during all of this until she didn't. Claressa uploaded a picture to Instagram. At 3:26 a.m., a close-up selfie with her lashes still in place and her cut neat but noticeable. Winning hurts sometimes, but I'm still undefeated, reads the caption. There was a cardiac arrest on the internet. Thousands of people commented on her post. Some complimenting her, and others accusing her of luring Remy, but everyone was in agreement. The tale was won by Claressa. Remy was being processed at the precinct in the meantime, and he would not talk to the police or media. However, according to a person close to her legal team, she kept saying the same thing. I was set up by them. This was no accident, it was a setup. The story then took a turn for the worse, because a set of screenshots, purportedly showing text communications between Claressa and someone saved as Pap, were uploaded by an anonymous Reddit account at approximately 5:45 a.m. The messages are harsh. One said, she still believes that you are just friends. Hold off until she views the party photos. An additional Remy doesn't have to be aware of our plans. When it's too late, she will discover late. Let's be clear now. There has been no verification of these messages. Claressa has not responded. Papoose has remained silent. However, the timing was too ideal in the court of public opinion for it to matter. In a matter of seconds, the story changed. What if they baited Remy? What if the party was a trap as well as a celebration? Consider it. Knowing Remy is in the room observing, Claressa holds Papoose's hand, makes the toast, and says the sentence, new beginnings. That's what some refer to as confidence. Some refer to it as psychological warfare. And Remy's photo made it work. Within 30 seconds of entering a room filled with cameras, she ruined her reputation. A lady who spent almost after 10 years of reviving her career, she is once again making news for all the wrong reasons. Remember that this was more than just a personal matter. This was hazardous, untidy, and public. This type of controversy permeates sponsorships, brand agreements, and contracts. Remy's collaboration with a significant fashion retailer has already been put on hold. Next week's scheduled talk show appearance was cancelled. Her Life Story's rumored Netflix agreement was discreetly dropped. It crumbles that quickly. Claressa's team is working even harder while Remy waits in a holding cell to find out if she will be released on bond. We warned them, an unnamed person from her camp informed the media. She wasn't invited. Still, she came. She decided to use violence. She is to blame for this. Is it, though? As a result, fans are now going deeper, watching the party tape again, observing every grin, side eye, and mic drop moment, searching for evidence that this wasn't an outburst of wrath but rather a breakdown planned by individuals who understood exactly what buttons to hit, and it poses a terrifying query. But what if this wasn't a downfall? What if Remy Ma's legacy was carried out in public? One question had the city talking by the time the sun rose over Atlanta. Now what? Remy Ma was in prison. Interviews were already being scheduled by Claressa Shields. And Papoose has yet to make a remark, post, or even ping his whereabouts. However, what followed on the internet made everything seem simple. A private voicemail was released to the media at 9:03 a.m. It purportedly showed Claressa in an angry phone conversation 2 hours after Ree's arrest, and it was recorded by a member of the venue's cleanup staff. According to the voice, which is unquestionably Claressa's, she would never leave that gathering with honor. She had her chance. Instead, she decided on jail. Boom. Suddenly, the story took a different turn. There was no combat here. This was a defeat. The Globe then began to inquire. Did anyone else know? Presenting the unexpected observer, a lady identified as D, who claimed to have once worked as Claressa's stylist, came forward with a confession that was uploaded to her TikTok burner account. Her voice is distorted and her identity is obscured, but the message is unmistakable. She claims that Claressa organized the whole evening like a game of chess. She informed us that black tie was not required because she didn't want Remy to feel uncomfortable if she showed up. She desired for her to feel both at ease, enough to visit, and uneasy enough to remain. D claims that even the microphone arrangement was calculated, positioning the toast immediately across from the door in the center of the ballroom under a spotlight. So, the media would go crazy if Remy appeared on screen, acting like a villain from a movie. And they did. Since Remy Ma confronted an arraignment, the party's 4-camera film was already being packaged and sold to streaming services. Yes, you heard correctly. According to sources, 2 prominent documentary filmmakers engaged in a bidding war for the rights to the entire footage. Unreleased messages and voice memos from behind the scenes. There was no scandal here. It was scorn. Additionally, Remy Ma was the star of a show that she had never consented to participate in. Talk about the legal ramifications. Julius Mays, Remy's attorney, said something terrifying while he was leaving the courthouse that afternoon. There was no meltdown here. Frame by frame, witness by witness, we will demonstrate that it was a setup. He asserts that his group acquired cell phone messages demonstrating that Remy was sent a phony invitation to the celebration. It suggested that Papoose wanted her to come, wanted to make amends, and wanted to settle the dispute in front of everyone. However, Papoose's team disputes that message was ever sent. Who did it then? The manager of Claressa had one theory. According to a different notion, a burner number is associated with a public relations firm that specializes in viral redirection, a technique for arranging controlled mayhem to increase visibility. There is no conspiracy there. It's a legitimate business. Additionally, it is said that Claressa employed them 2 months ago. Receipts, money transfers, scheduling memos, and even a document called a Q2 conflict activation plan are available online. Plan for precisely. Let's now discuss Remy's current situation. Remy Ma faces a maximum sentence of 18 months in prison for the assault charge alone if found guilty, given that she is still technically under supervision and that she might be looking at time. Combine that with worries about parole violations. The emotional anguish argument that she was lured, provoked, and mentally baited is being pushed by her legal team, but the prosecution seems unconvinced. Regardless of the emotional context, the violence was real, the injuries were real, and the public safety concern is undeniable, said a leaked memo from the DA's office. However, the supporters don't believe it. People held signs outside the courthouse that said, "Justice and free Remy." Ting conflicts. Which type of gathering requires an activation strategy?